This is the most important part in order to be successful at the races.
Picked up a colt out of Uncle Mo.
The 1.3 million purchase, now they're making us pay more for these horses. So it's like going to war. You want the best sniper, the guy who's good with a knife.
Is there any hot tips you got?
How many viewers you have in this?
Well, we'll see.
It's gonna bring him down.
Before we jump in, if you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button. And if you want sharp weekly picks, including value plays and full analysis, check the link below. It's totally free and built to help you bet smarter long term.
First off, could you just kind of give me a quick rundown on the barn? How many horses you got running? You got any horses coming up here running this weekend?
We do have one on Saturday in Churchill, but we just decided she's not gonna run. So we will have to wait until next weekend.
What goes into that decision? Why did you decide that she wouldn't run?
By the moment that the entry was taken, we couldn't get her to breeze. That was on Sunday. We had bad weather here in Lexington. She breezed yesterday, Monday, and one of the things that we consider sometimes is see how they do first, and then after that we usually make that call. But in this case, I mean, she's doing well, but it's a very competitive level for her. But we're gonna skip that race and point her towards another.
I saw today, I guess they're having another 2-year-old sale, and I saw back in April, maybe picked up a colt out of Uncle Mo that looked real nice. Can you tell me about that horse at all?
The 1.3 million purchase?
Yeah, yeah, that's the one.
When we got to the sale, we have a team that takes care of pretty much the times, the videos, because when you go to a sale, what you want is to have, the best team available. It's like going to war. You want the best sniper, the guy who's good with a knife. You want everything sorted, because it's truly a war. It's trying to find the right horse. Not for nothing, but I will say that after the kind of success that we have had in the past, now it's different. Before we were kind of under the radar. Now they're making us pay more for these horses. But he's a very talented colt. He's by Uncle Mo, out of Venezuelan mare. I'm from Venezuela. We all from Venezuela, so I'm more used to how the horses from there, what kind of horses actually can do well here in the States. And in a way, I was leaning towards that colt. But it's just like anything. You have to start rolling in a few weeks. And we will know where we stand. But so far, everything has been good.
Does he have a name yet for the colt?
No, yeah. We're still figuring that out.
All right, it looks good though, huh? So far so good.
Yeah. So far so good. That's the plan. And we were able to get up other purchases that were around that figure, and not because of the price, but more importantly is what we feel that are in that level that you can aim for big things. So you never know until they actually run the race. But so far is a good crop of babies that we have 2 years old, that they either already at the barn or they're coming from the farm, because usually after the sale you give them some break, some time to get all that stress from the sale. And right now, we're excited. I'm actually watching the sale right now, because my dad is at the sale. He's in Ocala right now, and we'll keep an eye on it, because we have a prospect that we plan to buy later. But it's difficult. It's not that easy as it sounds. Even when you have the money, though. Even when you have the money, it's you have to. It's a good process of selection, and then of course luck is the main ingredient that we all need. Good luck, especially.
So you said it was kind of like a military operation. Are you the sniper of the operation? What does it take to, like, when you're looking at these horses, and as like from a gambler's perspective, when I go to the track, I look at the horses in the paddock, I watch them walk around. What should we be looking for? Some indicators that maybe a horse has a good, potential future, or a horse that's really ready to go. Is there anything you can tell by the coat or the weight or the shape of the horse that maybe he's ready to run a big race?
Physically, you can tell when the horse is actually fit enough, because you have to take into consideration the different system that every trainer has. Some trainers want to have the horse ready for the first race. You already know this. And then some of them, they just want to take a couple of starts in order to get to know more the horse and to see where they are and what they need and what they actually like. I will say, if I, from the gambler's perspective, I will take into consideration how many braces, the public braces the horse has. Mm-hmm. And then if that relates to the physical that you're seeing actually in the paddock, because sometimes big horses, they tend to need races, to be ready, especially for that first start. And some of them, they just fast. And at that point in particular, especially at the beginning of the season, they might be ahead. And then sometimes they're not ended up being the best horses in the crop. But that day, they might be the ones that are actually ready. So yeah, you want to take a good look on the belly, how fat they are, especially, and then the demeanor, it's the first starts, you want to see a horse that is actually calm, that is not so nervous, not too much stress going on around him. And a good point, I will say, whether that horse is actually training in the same track that he's going to run, or whether he's shipping in for that race. That's a good angle. I mean, the best horses get beaten, when they ship just for the race, and they get to get a feeling of the track. And sometimes, they get beat by a horse that is not as good as them, but he was trained there, and he was already used to the surroundings, the paddock, the wood schooling. Sometimes, that gets you beat, especially in the early races. Then they start to separate each other.
And I guess horses are like any animals, they got their personality. So some take to a big crowd or shipping a lot better than others. It just maybe depends on the horse. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And as a trainer's perspective, you want a horse that's actually calm, that takes everything in a cool, chill way, fresh, that doesn't get too nervous, doesn't get too excited about what's going on around him, and actually can focus on the race. And that goes, and you never know until they actually run. You never know. Like sometimes they could be the quietest horse at the barn, and you can teach him as much as you can, and you can put him together with horses in the morning, and you can teach him, from the gate a lot. You can even put him behind horses to get some kickback sometimes. You can do all kinds, but it will never be compared to the actual race. So that's why it's so difficult to win first time out, and to actually have an idea of how it's going to be until they actually run. So nobody can tell. Right. But you have an idea when after years of seeing babies, and the behavior. Sometimes the pedigrees actually help a lot. When you see a pattern. I would say X, Y, and Z sire, they're actually quiet horses, or they're actually the opposite. These are very nervous horses, so we have to pay more attention to them the first time they're on.
And does that go into, like, when you're buying a horse, all that stuff with your team? I guess the more research you have and everything, the better prepared you are, the better chance, because you have a lot of other teams coming in with a lot of money as well. It just becomes, I guess, a preparedness issue and a luck issue, I guess, too.
Absolutely. Because as a trainer, and I think in any barn, this is the most important part in order to be successful at the races: the selection of the horses, the scouting. It doesn't matter how good you are as a trainer. If the horse cannot be as talented as the other one, nobody, you name it. I mean, like you can bring the biggest horse trainer on earth.
You're the Bob Baffert of Venezuela.
Well, actually, my dad is. I'm just helping. But he, the thing is that once you learn, and you can, because you never stop learning here. But the thing is that when you are used to the big races, you get to know a pattern of how a good horse looks. And that's why you want to be always, even if you're not running. Let's say, for example, when we have these good races at golf train, we don't even have a horse. I would like to see, how these good horses are, how they're looking, especially from a particular sire. It's exciting because then you get a feeling of how the daddy looks, or even you have a certain sire and how their sons look like the ones that run, because they can be by gun runner, but if it's a color that is not common, I will stay away from those, because you don't want to be the luckiest guys just to make those run. You want to be in the group that actually makes it your odds on your favor, not against you.
And then, so that takes me to like when you're placing a horse, you do such a great job with your horses and have a great winning percentage. How do you guys go about picking which horses to race? Do you like to use Thoro-Graph, Ragozin sheets,
All of them,
base
bro.
analysis? What's
Every horse trainer is a handicapper as well. And believe me, we do all the things that you guys do also, but sometimes it's like, from a gambler's perspective, you will say, why this guy put this horse with no chance in this race? But there is a lot more that comes in. It's dealing with the owners, it's dealing with the loan program that you have for that horse. Maybe we already know that it's not going to be ready for that race, but it will help him build that confidence that he needs for his career. But we all use Thoro Manager. I'm a big fan, and Thoro-Graph as well. And if you're planning to sell or buy a horse, Ragozin is considered the main number that everybody wants to see. And buyer, of course, it's more traditional. The Equibase figures. At the end, I think as much data you can accumulate, it works better. And then you just pick your favorite and stick to it with the one that is more consistent, I'd say.
And then, like you said, when you're pointing a horse, there's not really a way to tell if a trainer is kind of putting that horse in there as a stepping stone for the Peter Pan stepping up to the Belmont, or if that's really the goal, they're trying to go after that big race. I guess what I'm asking, is there a way that you can kind of tell if a trainer is really putting his horse in a position? They're obviously wanting to win every race, but one that they're really focused on outside of the big grade ones that obviously everybody's trying to win.
Absolutely. Sometimes you go by the trainer as well, because we all have a kind of a record here. And I think with time and recognizing patterns, you will say, I don't want to say names, but there's guys that they're only thinking about that race. And that from a gambler's perspective, your money is secure, because I know that they're trying everything to win that. So that's a good thing. But the opposite also comes in. Sometimes, you have guys that want to use races as training and to get horses fit with the races. If I'm gambling, I will stay away from those. Or even taking them into consideration, like I will use them, but not in the sense that they know they want to win with this horse, that kind of thing.
You're really in touch with all the horses and the different trainers. Do you ever put a bet down, or is that frowned upon? Or
yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of pools, Big Six. When it's ever mandatory payout, I'm in. And even if I have a horse, if I have a friend's horse, I will call him and text him, you like this horse or not? It's just like anything. But I will do my handicap first.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to ask him, oh, do you have something running today? No. I will like the horse first, and then I will ask him if the horse is okay. That's all I need to do.
I like the pick fives and the pick sixes like that. You think that's probably the best value you can get, especially with those carryover pools and some that have less of a takeout in them?
Well, to me, yes. But again, I do this every time is a mandatory payout. Or when the friendly reminder comes in the phone, oh, say that they giving the money away. So that's why. But it's not like I'm following and I'm keeping track on each one. Right. But yeah, definitely. That's basically, I think, where you can make a little bit of money when you hit a big one of those. And I like to hit the all button, because you're never gonna pick them all.
You like to do like couple singles in the sequence, and then
and for all that costs you like around 1,200-1,600. That's my bet.
Okay. And then if you only had like one tool, obviously you have so many things at your disposal, and everybody should use as much information as they can. What would it be? Would it be the buyer rating? Would it be a Thoro-Graph number? What would you go to if you were just the average guy going to the track that doesn't want to buy somebody's picks? They kind of want to do it on their own. Where should they go? Should they look at the racing form, the Thoro-Graph? What's the best place to
racing form is, it's like I think it's also the one that people are more used to. Survival, like everybody started there. And I will say, use the racing form, use the buyer figures, and then I will stick to the trainer and jockey that are actually hot. That they're the ones that are winning. You don't want to bring a guy who is in a low percentages and things are not working for him. You don't want to bring him back. You just want to bet the guys that actually are in that good frequency of continually winning And especially when using a single, something like that, you stick to the guys that actually are hot.
You got a jockey that you particularly like that riding for you or not, that you just for any reason thinks a great jockey?
Right now, we're using everybody. We have been lucky with Mika husband, Steve's apprentice. He's doing really well at Churchill now. He's a Churchill, but he was doing really well at Gulfstream. And I don't know, I think we are 10 for 8, I think. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. No, we were really hot with him. But I think just sometimes a matter of luck, As I said with Mika, we're doing a good job with him. And there's, like every time we have a good horse, that we gotta get a feeling of how good he is. That's a different approach than betting, but it's like we take a lot into consideration Castellano's opinion. He always is related to the horses the good ones that we have in the past.
And then with Mage, that was such a great success story. Did that just really put you guys on the map here? You were
absolutely, brother. I mean, Mage has been, has opened a big big window of opportunities for us as immigrants. Is building a stable comes with a lot of challenges. The thing with Mage is that we're so proud of the whole thing, the whole vision that we have, and it actually put it up with saying no also because big barons we're trying to get in the horse and trying to purchase them before the Derby, and then they have, it's a business after all, and then you stick to what you think, and that play out well for us. Trying to do it again. That's the plan, brother. Nice. That's the plan.
Well, I appreciate all your time. And just one couple more quick questions here. You got that Victory Avenue I saw there is Chasing the Crown, the Netflix documentary. The owner there is quite a character. What's going on with that horse? Is he still?
No, he's retired. No, yeah. No, he's not around. He's retired. He got injured.
He got injured and he's done, huh? That's just a part
very
of it.
Talented horse.
How do you deal with that? You just move on and
they're athletes, bro. They're athletes, and at the end, you want to do what's best for them. A good trainer will tell you when to keep going. Let's pull the plug here and then find another one. That's what a good trainer should do. In this case, we have him and another good horse, Ferocious, that we have to euthanize because he got a bad infection. I mean, it's like anything, that's the most common thing that happens with the horses. You need to have everything in a straight line to success in the big races is so difficult. But again, you have to be aware of what a horse limits are, but until that line that you cannot cross. And I think we're pretty good at it. And we always take that into consideration. Because horses, in my family, they have given us everything. It's a legacy that continues. Hopefully, I don't know, with the kids. But it's exciting when you have those horses. And we're planning to, one of these babies that we're getting right now, hopefully will take us, to the big stage again.
Yeah, if I got lucky enough and talked to you again at the end of the summer, who do you think we'd be talking about? Do you have a horse that you're really high on maybe that we might be seeing here come the end of summer or the fall?
I usually stay away from those because I don't want to jinx them.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But there is a couple ones that have already started racing. We let them do the talk, but I like a Constitution Colt that they just got here. I mean, he's got this thing going on for himself that he looks like a nice horse. He doesn't have a name yet, but we purchased him in the OBSL. He looked good today. This changes by day, brother. This changes by day. So, but yeah, we're enthusiastic about all the group. Not just him, but all the group. Let's see. We can pull. It's not easy, but it's not impossible either.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'll let you get back to the sale there. I know you got to put your 2 cents on which horse looks good for the team coming up. Before I go, is there, you're a gambler from one to another. Is there any hot tips you got coming up this weekend or anything? You don't have to. I don't want to put you on the spot, but a name?
We do have a horse now that you remember that the last race, he couldn't run. He's in race 7, a Gulfstream. Easy answer.
All right. I like it.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for him.
Yeah. Good luck. I think it's how many viewers you have in this?
Well, we'll see.
It's gonna bring him down.
If you got value from this conversation, make sure to subscribe. I've got more interviews and sharp betting content dropping every week. And if you're ready to level up your game, check out the Prime Pick Pass. You'll get 4 to 5 races every week, including my top pick and 3 contenders in each, fair odds, win and exacta bets with full race notes and strategy. But hey, if you're not quite ready for that, you can still grab my free picks each week. They're linked in the description and pinned in the comments. They're totally free and a great way to start betting smarter. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you at the track.